This is a discussion on your antidiuretic hormone conditions. So insofar as the antidiuretic hormone is concerned, or the ADH, there are two conditions that might arise. Now, you might have diabetes insipidus or syndrome of inappropriate antidiuretic hormone. But before we deal into these two conditions, let's first review about your antidiuretic hormone. Remember, class, that your antidiuretic hormone is a very important hormone that promotes for the reabsorption of your water. Take note, antidiuretic hormone is responsible for the reabsorption of water only. So this is one scenario, class, where the rule that wherever sodium goes, water follows, or wherever water goes, sodium follows, this does not apply, because that rule on sodium and water going together applies only to the hormone aldosterone. But this is a totally separate hormone, antidiuretic hormone. So again, I will make it clear. See, ADH is responsible for the reabsorption of water only. Okay? So as against your aldosterone, which is responsible for the reabsorption of both sodium and water. What is the effect of the release of antidiuretic hormone? Your antidiuretic hormone will affect the osmolality of your urine. It affects the osmolality of your urine. When we say osmolality, class, this refers to your urine flow. So moingon gani ko, taas ang osmolality, mo increase pod ang sige pag-ihi. Moingon gani ko, mo decrease ang osmolality, then mo hinay pod ang imuhang pag-ihi. So therefore, osmolality may cause either increased urination or decreased urination. Okay? Mutaas ang osmolality, there will be increased urination, and you call that polyuria. Moingon gani ka nga reduced ang osmolality, then reduced pod ang imuhang urination, and you call it oliguria. Okay? So ang atong basis, class, or cutoff is 30 ml per hour. Meaning, if the urine flow is way in excess of your 30 ml per hour, then you call it as polyuria. Pero kung ang imong urine is less than 30 ml, then we call it as oliguria. Osmolality also, class. As early as now, I want you to remember nga opposite na siya sa specific gravity. Meaning, musaka ang osmolality, ang specific gravity moubos. Moubos ang osmolality, musaka ang specific gravity. What is the normal specific gravity of the urine? Aron di mo makalimot, think of our break time in the morning, 10:15 putob 10:30 sa buntag. Nganong ingon ana man? Because specific gravity is 1.015 to 1.030. Okay? So again, antidiuretic hormone is a hormone that is responsible for the reabsorption of water only. It does not include sodium. Okay? And your antidiuretic hormone will affect the osmolality of the urine. Osmolality refers to the flow of urine, which may be more than or less than. If it is more than, no, if taas ang imuhang osmolality, then you will have polyuria. If ubos ang imong osmolality, then you will have oliguria. And also, let us remember that osmolality is the opposite of specific gravity, such that musaka ang osmolality, muubos ang specific gravity. Muubos ang osmolality, musaka ang specific gravity. Now, having said that, let's talk about the first condition involving your antidiuretic hormone. This is diabetes insipidus. It may seem to sound alike sa imuhang diabetes mellitus, but let me tell you, your diabetes mellitus and your diabetes insipidus are totally different conditions. Diabetes insipidus happens because of a problem where your antidiuretic hormone is extremely low. Okay? So that your diabetes insipidus is a condition where your antidiuretic hormone is extremely low. So kung ubos ang imong antidiuretic hormone, then walay mo reabsorb sa imong ihi o sa imong tubig. Kung sa may mahitabo, magsigi na lang kag pangihi because of the absence of the antidiuretic hormone. So that's not difficult to remember. Why? Because diabetes insipidus, DI, stands for daming ihi. Daghan og ihi. Nganong daghan man kag ihi? Tungod kay wala man kay antidiuretic hormone. Unsa tay function sa antidiuretic hormone? To reabsorb water. Okay? So this is the pathophysiology for your diabetes insipidus. It actually begins, class, with an autoimmune condition. Autoimmune refers to those conditions where ang imong own immune system is the one who attacks your body. Imbis si immune system ang mo-protect nimo, siya na hinuon ang nakakause of problem. So you call it as an autoimmune condition. Or diabetes insipidus may be caused by a surgery or the removal of your pituitary gland. Okay? So when autoimmune condition exists, or when there is a surgery over your pituitary gland, that will bring about two effects. Either mutaas ang imong osmolality or muubos ang imong specific gravity. Okay? So kung imuhang autoimmune condition, okay? Kung naa kay autoimmune condition or pituitary gland surgery, that will lead to a reduction in the levels of your antidiuretic hormone. Muubos. So what happens if muubos ang imong antidiuretic hormone? Two things. One, mo increase ang osmolality. And we know since inverse man siya, kung mutaas ang osmolality, what do you expect of the specific gravity? The specific gravity will also decrease. Opposite sila. Now, what happens if taas ang osmolality? Di ba, remember, unsa tong osmolality? Urine flow. So kung mataas ang imuhang urine flow coupled with a decrease in your specific gravity, that will lead to polyuria. Magsigi ka og pangihi. How would you call a person, or when would you call that a person is already in a state of polyuria? If the urination is in excess of 30 ml per hour. So, naa gani kay diabetes insipidus, naa kay polyuria. So, what should you remember? Ang daming ihi. Okay, DI. Daming ihi. So, pangutanon ka. Ngano man sa diabetes insipidus, magsige man kag ihi, magpolyuria man ka. Tungod kay taas ang urine flow, taas ang osmolality. Nganong taas man ang osmolality? Kay kuwang man ka, no ubos man imong antidiuretic hormone. Anong ubos man imong antidiuretic hormone? Tungod kay naa kay prior surgery to the pituitary gland or there has been an autoimmune problem. Okay. So the hallmark of a problem in diabetes insipidus is sigi kag ihi, sigi kag ihi. So what will happen if magsigi kag ihi? Number one, you can develop weight loss. Okay? Ngano man, class? The weight is a very sensitive indicator of fluid retention or excretion in the body. Meaning, kung nag-monitor ganita sa fluid condition of the person, whether retention or excretion, the most sensitive indicator is the weight of the person. Such that, if mo increase ang usa ka tawo og 1 gram, no, usa ka gramo nga weight, that indicates retention of 1 ml also of your fluid. So 1 gram is equivalent to 1 ml of fluid retention. So weight loss, sige man kag pangihi. Now, what else? What could be the effect if nagsigi kag pangihi? There will be fluid volume deficit. You will be in a state of dehydration. Kay sige man kag pangihi. So, fluid volume deficit or a state of dehydration. And that's not difficult to remember. Nga naman, DI, diabetes insipidus, would stand for you are dry inside. So, ang daming ihi, dry inside pagyud ka. Okay? So, now, what are the symptoms of dehydration? Number one, what happens to the hematocrit level of a person with dehydration? There will be hemoconcentration. So, mutaas ang imuhang hematocrit levels. We call it as hemoconcentration. Number 2, pwede po ka mag-reduce ang imuhang pwede po ka ang imuhang neck veins. Neck veins would be collapsed. Nganong mo collapse ang imong neck vein? Because you are already dehydrated. Okay? So, hematocrit is increased, your neck veins would collapse, and when you are dehydrated, your CVP, your central venous pressure would also be decreased. Unsa man na siyang central venous pressure? This refers to the pressure or the amount of blood circulating inside your heart. Okay? Unsa tong CVP? The pressure or the amount of blood that circulates inside your heart. When you are dehydrated, what happens to the blood volume? Muubos, mutaas. Di ba muubos? So kung muubos ang blood volume, then the blood that circulates inside the heart would also go down. Maunang ang imong CVP is also reduced. What are other signs of dehydration? Mag-uga imong bakbak. So you call it xerostomia. Okay? Dryness of the mouth. Okay? Xerostomia or dryness of the mouth. If the patient has dehydration, what would you notice in the skin of the patient? There will be dryness or poor skin turgor. Okay? And also, if the patient is a baby, unsa man atong tan-awon, basta bata ang pasyente, tan-awon na to ang hubon, tan-awon na to ang fontanelle. So there will be sunken fontanelles and also sunken eyeballs. Okay? So these are some of the manifestations of a patient with dehydration, which eventually, kung severe ang imong dehydration, the patient could go into a state of shock. Okay? Next. What happens if nagsigi kag ihi? Sige kag ihi. You will develop hypernatremia. Okay? You will develop hypernatremia. So class, to understand that, let's say naa kay usa ka baso nga tubig. The baso represents our body. Sulod sa usa ka baso, so ako i-drawing ha, kani usa ka baso. Sulod sa usa ka baso, naa siya'y tubig. And there is an equal balance of water and salt in the body. Okay? So ang imong salt o imong tubig equal. Sulod, state of equilibrium inside the body. Pero nagsigi man kag pangihi. What happens when there is lack of antidiuretic hormone? Then your patient will have the inability to reabsorb water. So musigi o gawas ang tubig, sige o gawas ang tubig without affecting the sodium concentration. So kung mugawas ang tubig without affecting the sodium concentration, what happens to the sodium levels? There will be increased sodium levels. Kung ang usa ka baso na ay asin og tubig, akong i-extract ang tubig, unsa may mahabilin? Ang kaparat na lang ang mahabilin. And that is a state of hypernatremia. And remember, opposite ang sodium ug potassium. Meaning, if the sodium is elevated, you will manifest hypokalemia. So there's hypernatremia and there is hypokalemia. And you know that whenever there's hypokalemia, you will see the U wave on your ECG. Okay? So that is the pathophysiology of your diabetes insipidus. Now, let's go to the diagnostic test for your diabetes insipidus. How do we diagnose diabetes insipidus? Well, this is what we call, class, as your water deprivation tests. Unsa man ang water deprivation tests? You simply deprive the patient of taking in water, bawal, o inom og tubig, sulod sa 12 ka oras. The patient cannot drink any liquid for a period of 12 hours. If, despite water deprivation, ang imuhang pasyente kay nangihi gihapon, imuhang pasyente, so nangihi imong pasyente, that is equivalent to diabetes insipidus. If dili gani mangihi imong pasyente, then it is normal. Okay? So that is how we diagnose diabetes insipidus. You deprive the patient of water for 12 hours. Nya wa gud siya inom-inom. Nangihi manggihapon siya. So unsa man na? Diabetes insipidus. Daming ihi. And because daming ihi, you are dry inside. Okay? Now, let's talk about the management of diabetes insipidus. Remember, this is an autoimmune condition. And because it is an autoimmune condition, what is the best medication for that? You give your immunosuppressants like your corticosteroids. Okay? You also have to monitor the weight of the patient, no? To determine the degree of dehydration or to determine the degree of recovery from dehydration. How about the diet of the patient? Will you give high salt or low salt diet? Remember, ang imong patient diri will have hypernatremia. Tungod kay nigawas ang tubig, nahabilin ang sodium, you have hypernatremia. So what kind of diet will you advise? Low salt diet, and your potassium should be high potassium diet. Unsa may sources of potassium? Your bowels, BOWS. Unsa man ang BOWS? Banana, orange, watermelon, strawberry. These are sources of potassium. Okay? Now, what about the medication? What would be your drug of choice for diabetes insipidus? The drug of choice class is vasopressin, or you can give desmopressin. Okay, these are the medications. And what is unusual about this medication is that the route of administration is via inhalation. Okay? So, intranasal ang imong paghatag sa vasopressin and desmopressin. Class, that ends our discussion on diabetes insipidus.